Good morning, it is Christmas Eve, tomorrow is Christmas, and we've got the last bit of Advent to finish off. It is freaking hot. I've got the aircon on, but I was a genius and I had a warm shower and then I moisturized after my very warm shower, so I basically applied goop to my body for it to then all slide off. So I am very like struggle town. Okay, so today I am going to do Advent, and then I have my phone here to do the questions that I asked. Like, can ask me anything on Instagram, and so I'm gonna collect those and then talk through the answers. And yeah, then today I'm going to be doing some cooking, so you can see me try not to burn my fingers. Okay, so first up, let's get my Advents out of the way, slash I really want to do them. So day 24 of Ash and Eve Steampunk collection is Cold Aged Leather. Okay, and she has given us all natural hand balms with essential oils in them. So it's a hand balm, and it's got in a tin, it's got like a decoration on top, and that smells really nice. I would put it on, but I'm scared it would slip off my body. So this is shea butter, coconut oil, beeswax, almond oil, vitamin E oil, with sweet orange, mandarin, lavender, bergamot, and cedarwood essential oils inside it. Okay, day 24 of Daffodil Road. The colourway is called Salmon Berry. This is the beautiful colour. That is Salmon Berry. That is so bright. So the last 3 days, day 24, 23, 22. Sometimes I just can't count backwards. Beautiful. And then there is a 25 gift. So I'm going to put it in my big drawer of all the 25 gifts, because I have a few. And then tomorrow I'll open them all. Woolen Works. That's a really fun brown teddy bear kind of colour. I always call them teddy bear, but that's how I think of them. Wonderlust. Interesting. So we've got these like caves. And then this is the colourway. Fingal's Cave is a sea cave on the uninhabited island of Staffa in Scotland. It is also known as An Avebin, and its literal Irish translation is the Melodic Cave. The cave is formed entirely from hexagonally joined basalt columns and is similar in structure to the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. It's amazing. So this is the second year in a row of trying to read these out, and oh my goodness, my pronunciation of foreign places, especially when it's like a language that I know, like it has an accent on it, or it has you know, like there was the Swedish or Norwegian one and it had the O with a line through it, and I don't know how to pronounce that letter, or Gaelic, which I know like MH is often a V sound, but I don't know. So yeah, like these have been hard. So if I've offended anyone, I'm so sorry, but I've been trying. And I have 24 and 25 for Circus Tonic, so I'm going to put this one in my bottom drawer. And let's open 24 today. So 24 is this colourway. It's like speckles. It reminds me of the In the Vineyard by Mel of Three Cats Yarn, the one that I made the cowl for my grandmother in. Okay, we've got 2 of these to open. So day 23 is a corkscrew. Let's try and check, make sure it's in focus. Day 24. Is a spoon. So, funny story. And obviously we'll do 25 tomorrow. I have a spoon in my family. I think I've got a spoon on my mum's side and a fork on my dad's side, where it was like in the will that I would get it, and so it's my spoon, and I just love my spoon, and so it's a real like point of pride every time I get to use my spoon. So weirdly, spoons have a thing for me, or I have a thing for spoons. Alright, last 2 to open. Just gonna open them both. Oh, that's a fun colour. So these are the colours for the end of it. So this is the whole advent calendar. I love it. I love it. I'm going to put it down here because I'm going to take photos with everything. What am I doing now? Questions? Okay, let's do some knit and chat while we are doing it. So, ask me any question, any at all, and the first one I got is, what are you most proud of this year? A lot of things, actually. Last year was pretty hectic. So this actually ties into another question about work and what makes like a good class and what makes work go well. So I'll kind of answer both together. I don't really want to be negative, but I've had a pretty rough ride the past few years, especially at work. The first year in 2020 that I joined my current workplace, it was difficult. And I just had some really, honestly, quite horrible experiences that I hope no one ever goes through. And yeah, it wasn't a fun time for anyone. And at the end of that year, I kind of was like, you know, maybe I should leave, maybe I should find another job, and I did apply somewhere else. But to be perfectly honest, I was so, like, burnt down, I feel, that I didn't actually think I was worthy of another position. Like, I just thought I was so bad I couldn't productively sell myself to another place. So I stayed, and the one thing about me is I am very resilient, and I fight back quite hard. So when I was told that I was not an effective teacher and that what I was doing wasn't working, I kind of doubled down and was like, no, what I am doing is working, and I am getting results, and I am good at what I do, and let me prove it to you. So I feel like I fought back, and I can say with great confidence that the next year got better, and then this year has been best. So I'm really proud of my determination and my resilience to continue fighting even when I just want to lay down and cry, and the determination that I've got to just continue pushing. So this year at work has been quite wonderful. I've had some incredible classes. I have had some interesting experiences. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not all smooth sailing, and there are many times where I have visions of losing my job for reasons. But I never would, because I love what I do and I love my kids, and I think at the end of the day there's always something good that happens, or something good I can point to, or the knowledge that the next day will be something good. And yeah, I've made some incredible friends this year, and I've maintained friendships with people that I didn't think I would. So one thing with me, I can be very single-minded and very like ADHD focused kind of thing. So either very focused or all over the shop. And a lot of the time for me, if it's not in my direct line of sight, I don't necessarily follow it. Like I can't remember the thing because it's not in my line of sight. So for example, when cleaning, I will, actually we're going to do this in the bathroom. I took the stuff into the bathroom to clean it, and I cleaned in one area that I could see, and then as soon as I turned around, I forgot where the cleaning product was because it wasn't in my line of sight. And so I have to like remember these things. And so I kept telling myself, like as I was cleaning, like remember the spray, remember the spray, remember the spray, and then I forgot the spray. So I can be a bit like that in physical items, and then I can also be a bit like that in friendships. And I have really wanted to improve at that because I don't want to be someone who only has friends because they're in front of me. I want to be someone who has friends because they're my friends. And I do feel as though this year I've gotten better at that, and I've been much more confident in reaching out to people and saying, hey, you're my friend, let's hang out, or hey, you're my friend, like I haven't seen you in a while, let's catch up, or just how are you going? And I think that has been a practice I've been trying to work on this year, and I feel like I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely improving on it, and I'm really proud of that as well, because it's been a lot. So yeah, so I'm really proud of my resilience, I'm proud of my work, and the fact that I feel like I'm recognised at my work for being good at what I do. And what I do best is relationships and working with kids who need just a bit more love, a bit more time, a bit more care. And I feel like I've done that really well. One thing that frustrates the heck out of me in my school is my kids often come from more difficult situations. And I'm not going to sit here and throw stones and say someone else's life is harder than someone else's. Like that's not for me to say. But I do know that a lot of my kids come and maybe they haven't had breakfast in the morning, or maybe they've witnessed abuse the night before, or have experienced abuse the night before or the morning of. Some of them can't get to school on time because they've got to drop their little siblings off in primary school, like all these things that happen. And so my class needs to be a safe place, and I think school needs to be a safe place, and that unfortunately is where they act up, because kids often push boundaries to know that they're safe. Like that's how they know they're safe, by pushing that boundary and going, okay, it's still there. But they also want to push the boundary because they don't like the boundary, and so it's difficult for them, and then it's difficult for us as the adult in the situation to consistently apply the boundary. So I think I find it hard walking that balance between someone who cares for them and maintaining that boundary for them, because I can feel personally attacked. Like I can feel personally hurt when they push my boundary because they know it's my boundary. So long way of saying sometimes my job is hard, but I also love it, and I absolutely love what I do. And I think I've been really proud of my kids and how they have worked a lot on themselves, and they've worked with me on themselves, and I just think that's amazing. So one of the other questions I got, pretty sure it's from one of my students, because my Instagram is public and I really don't mind, so some of them do follow me. I had a question about what makes a class good, or why is such and such my favorite class. And I think for me it's the willingness of kids to work with me on what they need to. So I will be the first one to say that school, university, grades, whatever, like it doesn't actually mean a lot. You can get into university in so many different ways. Also, uni is not the be all and end all. Like you don't have to go to university. So I find a lot of the time my school, I mean every school, will push ATAR or university or like tertiary education as the be all and end all, and sometimes that just doesn't fit for our kids. Or sometimes it will in 10 years when they've actually had time and real life experience, and they can come back to it and approach it with intelligence that they've earned, not that they've had forced on them, or like it's not rote learning, it's experiential. And so I think I often really enjoy the classes where they are smart, they don't believe it, unfortunately. And something pisses me off at work is that, like I said, our kids come in and they're vulnerable, and sometimes because adults are humans too, and I'm definitely guilty of this. They can react and they can unfortunately lash out, and I think that is harmful. So some of our kids have been called stupid. Let me just close the door. Yeah, some of our kids have been called stupid or belittled or made fun of by adults in the room who need to remember that they are adults. And I think that is a really toxic behaviour. And so when my kids come to me and they not only have been called stupid, but they genuinely believe that they are, that annoys me. It really annoys me. And then I find the classes that often come to me with that low resilience, they don't even want to put pen to paper because they think they're going to fail it. Or, I'm going to fail anyway, what's the point? That sort of concept. It's that like failure is inevitable, trying to fight it will make me fail worse. And that it's like they don't realize that anything is better than a 0. 2% is better than a 0. So why not put your name down and give 3 questions a go, because you might get them right, instead of getting a 0. And also the knowledge with my kids that I'm there to help them and that I'm there to work on them. So that's something that really, a class that recognizes why I'm there and that they should use me to work with them. That's the kind of thing that gives me a lot of joy. So some recent examples, I had one boy and I have pages and pages and pages of work where all I have from him is a blank sheet, or his name written but in my handwriting because he refused to write anything down, and just pages and pages and pages of tests that were completely unfinished and unattempted and everything. And I kept working at him and I kept working at him. We had a couple of clashes as well where he just didn't know what my line was, and to be fair, I was in a really low mood one day and I reacted, which was unfair on him, and so we had to talk it out. And then since then we've been amazing, and this kid, I have so much respect for him, and I believe he's got respect for me too. And yeah, we've just worked as an awesome team this semester, to the point where in term 4, so recently, he attempted his test and got 56% in it, turned around and was like, "Miss, this is the first test I've ever actually tried." Like, oh my god, this kid never tries, and he's gotten 56% because he's actually smart. Then he turns around the next day, another kid comes in who's his mate, and he sits down and goes, "No man, it's really easy, I'll help you out just like Miss helped me." Like, Another boy was being really defeatist and was just being rude and was like, there's no point me trying on this exam, I can't even be bothered, blah blah blah. And so I was like, dude, I can't have this. Like, I've got 20 other kids trying to do a test and you're just bringing everyone down. You need to stop. And he wouldn't, and I was like, okay, you actually need to leave, because the way that you're entering this classroom is unproductive and disruptive, and it's making for a really negative environment where we're trying to pass a test together. So off you go. I overheard him complaining to another teacher that I gave him a really hard test, and the reason it was really hard is because I wasn't there to help him. And I'm just like he knows that, yes, okay, he was being a pest, but he knows that I'm there to help him, and that's the bit that lit me up. Like, that was the bit that I was just like, yes, like, you get it. And even in my more top set classes, like we stream in a lot of the classes in Australia. We stream them, which I disagree with, but anyway. And so some of the, like the higher graded, I guess, classes, the classes with a higher average, I really enjoy working with those kids and pushing them and being like, right, awesome, like, you're on 63%, a B is 65, let's get you to 67, so we've got a good range. Let's go, we've got 4%, let's work on it. And the kids are like, yes, awesome, like, let's do it. And I find I give a lot of feedback, and so when I see them listening to my feedback and applying it, I just, that's what I love. So, next question. That's what I'm proud of, that's what makes school worth it for me. Why do you like what you do? What makes a class good? I think I'd answered that one. What is your controversial knitting opinion? Oh, I feel like I've got a few. I have bought a whole bunch of Knitted-in, and I'm actually going to destash it. I just don't like working on it. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I can appreciate it, and I can appreciate why people appreciate it. I like the fact that it makes me really mindful of my stitches and all of that, but I just, it creates a fabric that I personally wouldn't wear, and that that just means I'm not going to reach for it. And so what's the point in putting all this effort into something I'm not going to reach for? So that's one. Socks, everyone knows I hate socks, despite the fact that I've made them. I just don't like them. And I think we figured out, well, I figured out, it was the heels, toes and cuffs that I like, and the body of the sock that I hate. So the foot or the leg, hate it. So I'm very happy to have that experienced and done. Controversial knitting opinions. I think there's a lot of things that are coming out lately that either all look the same or are variations on the same thing. And yeah, I find that boring. Yeah. I find repetitive things from multiple different people but kind of on a trend line boring. I do not understand some patterns that have gone crazy, like Love Note by Tin Can Knits. Don't get it. I don't think I ever will. It's just not for me. What's the other one? Is it the Cumulus? No, the one by Midori Hirose. Ranunculus. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm sure, like, I see people knitting them all the time, and I'm sure they're beautiful. And to be fair, like, I've got some friends and they've got some of those finished items. Like Alex from the Serenity Knitting podcast has got ranunculi, multiple ranunculi. Ilsa, my friend Ilsa of Ilsa Knits, she has got some Love Note, a Love Note I think, and they look stunning. They really do. I just have no desire to ever knit them. I just don't get that. I'm not a big crochet person, and I personally don't like the look of like grandma's granny square things. I think crochet can be incredibly amazing. Like Crochet with Lulu is a artist that I watch and I love. I consume her content. She is incredible. But crochet itself, nah, not my thing. Alright, my battery is blinking at me, so I'm gonna pause and go recharge my battery and start cooking, and then I will come back and finish these off. Okay, Christmas time. So I've got a whole box of stuff. I went to the Christmas, the fresh markets just before, and where's my keys? Let's put them into piles and then start the potato salad. Just a complaint, I really, really, really hate peeling potatoes. And I have so many. I have done 4 and I have so many to go. Okay, the mountain of potato peel. This is the second tub, and there's my breakfast cooking, and even though it's 1 p.m. and these potatoes are ready. So if you stab your fork through them, you don't want them to be completely mush, you want them to still have some integrity. So they are done. So I've put them into a colander. You can see the steam coming off them. I've been running cold water over them. That's not even cold water. It's so warm. Oh well. And so I'm just gonna let these cool. The other thing I'm thinking of doing, we've got this whole bag of potato peels, and I've been wanting to make potato peel crisps. So I might just try it and see how we go. So I've got potato salad for tonight, potato salad for tomorrow, and dill-free potato salad because my sister hates dill. And now I have to do pavlova and all the dishes. Okay, I think we finished with controversial knitting opinions. I can't really think of many else. I just know that I am very opinionated, and there's lots of things that I do like or don't like, and I tend to not be able to hide my opinions / don't care. And I can be, yeah, quite opinionated and have very strong feelings on different things. I think that's the best way to put it. So some things I'm like, ew, ugly, ew. And other things I'm like, oh, I love it. And then halfway through making it, I'm like, ew, ugly, ew. So it all changes. Fleur from Innuendo by the Paramour. asked, did I put names before? Anyway, what was my toughest moment of 2022? That's actually been, it's been a few. As you guys know, I broke up with Alec, my partner, about this time last year. So that was rough. What made it even harder was the fact that we didn't stop living together until May. And I'm a big believer of being friends with people who've like been a part of your life. So if he's been a big part of my life, he really helped me grow a lot and made me learn a lot of things about myself. And so I didn't want to throw away a friendship. Like, just because the relationship, as in romantic, dropping a stitch, just because the romantic relationship didn't work out doesn't mean that a friendship can't. Like, I think it's silly to throw everything out when it doesn't work, especially when the breakup wasn't toxic. Like, it was sad, but it wasn't a bad breakup. So yeah, I think that was tough, like, trying to navigate it. I think we've got it to a good level now, but definitely trying to navigate it for a while was tough. My two like work best friends left at the end of, so one left middle of last year, one left end of last year. And so starting work again where I didn't have my people, and I was really nervous about like how I was going to fit in, especially given the fact that the last 2 years have been so hard for me at work, and I was not sure what I was expecting. So I think that was quite difficult. I had COVID when I moved house. That was fun. I had like 3 days to move house in, so I just did it despite COVID. I think it's been more like a lot of more personal side of things. Like, there hasn't necessarily been anything really hard per se that like really stands out for me, but it's more like just trying to, I guess, find happiness in who I am and surround myself with people that I love and that I look up to and that I want to be surrounded by. Applying safer boundaries for myself as well. I haven't always been the best at doing that, and so I think that's been something that I've really missed out on and need to improve on. So I think this year's been a big challenge for me to just figure out what my boundaries are and when to say no and when to say enough's enough. That's been a big change, or a big challenge. Yeah, more like personal adult growing pains, as I like to call them, or emotional growing pains. I feel like there's been a lot more that's happened this year, but I think I try and look at everything really positively, and a lot of the things, even though they were hard to go through, they've ended up quite good. And so yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Actually, here's a fun one for you. I did get diagnosed with chronic pain, more so because the doctor I went to was like, oh, you've had this pain since you were 5. And I was like, that's correct. And he's like, and now you're 28. And I was like, that's correct. And he goes, oh, that's like 23 years then. I'm like, that is correct. And he goes, oh, well, it's chronic then. So now I've got chronic pain, not just pain. And I think even in that, like, yesterday and today aren't great pain days. I'm not feeling my best. And so I think just trying to navigate where my body doesn't actually respond in the way that I would like it to, or in the way that others do. Yeah, so the fact that I've had a few scares, like a few cancer scares as well, just, you know, over time. Things that I'm quite aware of, but that are still scary when they come up. And so, yeah, I think it's just been difficult navigating all of it, and expecting that my body should be performing like, looking like, acting like someone else's, and it's not. So that's more of like an area of growth, I guess, something I need to develop and move on from. Okay, next question. Last one. What is your favourite thing to knit? E.g. socks, jumper, throw, etc. Ooh, I think I tend to, I don't even know. I love wearables. I love tops, jumpers, shawls. I consider those wearables because they're like, yes, they're accessories, but I like the big ones that kind of feel like a big warm wrap that you just wrap yourself up in and feel cozy in. Yeah, I think I love lots of use of colour, and I think I'm starting to feel more comfortable branching out into the neon pops of colour. Some of my most recent purchases show that, so that's really exciting because definitely something I've wanted to do for a while and just haven't felt comfortable. I always admire those people who've got a really consistent, like, clean neutrals palette. It's just so not me. I'm never going to be that person who goes for all the neutrals and has the browns and the mustards and the whites, and no, that's just not me. I'm too boisterous in my own sense of colour. Yeah, I think I love knitting a range of things. I love lace, not the ridiculously difficult heirloom lace that everyone hates, but I think what I love is being able to interpret my idea and design or someone else's and see how it comes out on, like, in the stitches. I think lace and cables for that reason, and colour work as well, are really interesting because they always have a unique perspective that comes out, and depending on what you knit them with. So if you knit them with fingering or bulky, it completely changes the tone of the piece. If you knit them with a solid yarn or with 100% non-superwash, you know, more rustic yarn, or a bamboo like what I'm knitting at the moment, like it changes the voice of the piece, and I find that so fascinating. I really consider knitting to be wearable art, and I consider my design aspect or element to be a way of showing my creativity and really opening up. So I think for me, all of this is just, it's such an exploration in something different, and I find it fascinating, especially seeing how other people do it. So yeah, I like knitting, guys. I really like knitting. That's all the questions. I don't know, are there any other questions you would like me to answer? I'm probably going to end up doing some sort of video tomorrow, so let me know. I'm halfway through making potato salad. I'm waiting on the potatoes to cool so that I can mix them without mushing them. I broke a glass bowl, so I had to go spend some time cleaning that up. That was fun. I hate breaking glass, it just drives me insane. I hate, especially because I've got 2 cats and I'm so aware that they walk around like with delicate feet. Let's try that again. I hate it when I break glass, especially because I've got 2 cats and I know that they walk around obviously barefoot, like cats don't wear shoes. But you know, me as a human, if I walk around barefoot and I get a sliver of glass or something, I can use tweezers and pull it out, whereas a cat can't. And so I'm just very aware that if anything breaks or shatters, and this was one of those, like, it shattered, it wasn't like a safety glass one, it just, so I spent a lot of time trying to clean it up and trying to like mop up the floor because I'm just so nervous that I don't want one of my pets to get, you know, stabbed by glass. So these are things that and then so I'm halfway through making potato salad, had my breakfast. I think I'm going to try and finish off the innuendo beanie. I'm up to the decreases. I'm 2 rounds into the decreases, and it's a lot more symmetrical than the increase like setup round, but it's still something that I have to be like attentive to and pay attention and actively work on as so I've got to have the document up as I'm writing it, sorry, as I'm knitting it, otherwise I wouldn't remember all the little things that I've done to go back through. That's okay. And yeah, I'm gonna, I think, my own, oh goodness. Sorry, just not being able to knit. My own personal habits are to watch The Grinch once a year around Christmas, and I haven't watched it this year, so I think I might watch The Grinch this year right now while waiting for potatoes to cool so that I can mix them up. So I might do that now. Okay, I'm sure I will see you very soon, and yeah, I don't know what to say. I'll see you soon. So this is what I'm wearing to family Christmas Eve dinner. We're running very late. Technically started 2 hours ago. Yeah, I got these new shoes. They were like little slip-ons. I need new white slip-ons, and they were 130 down to 50. So bargain. And I feel like I've eaten nothing but crappy food for the past week, which is accurate. So hopefully this doesn't make me look, I feel like it doesn't make me look massive, but this will be dinner tonight.
Potatoes, potatoes, potatoes.
Potatoes and sauce potatoes, potatoes, and for a break, potatoes. And then this one's got pumpkin, so you know, almost the same.
Yama.
Cheers. Merry Christmas.